Representing a neat twist on the Robin Hood story, Gangs of Sherwood reframes the English folklore classic in a futuristic dystopia, albeit one that still hews closely to the basic essence of the original tale. By abusing the power of the mysterious Philosopher's Stones, the Sheriff of Nottingham has amassed an overwhelming arsenal of technologically advanced soldiers, airships, and more with which he is used to oppress the good folks of Sherwood and beyond. In order to break this iron-fisted rule, Robin of Locksley, together with his erstwhile companions Marian, Friar Tuck and Little John, must do what they do best by robbing the rich to give to the poor, helping them in turn to lay waste to the vast armies of the Sheriff of Nottingham and restore peace to the land. Gangs of Sherwood is a third-person, co-op action-adventure designed in mind for up to 4 players to take part in the dismantling of the Sheriff of Nottingham's vile regime. Far from being a ponderous, plotting sort of affair, there's more than a dash of devil may cry about the whole thing, as Gangs of Sherwood very much prescribes a resolutely furious, hyperkinetic and combo-focused take on melee and ranged combat that fans of Capcom's stylish demon battling series will surely recognize. Building upon such violent pursuits, Gangs of Sherwood cooperative play is factored directly into the proceedings thanks to the 4 very different characters that are on offer, with each of the playable heroes offering a veritable mixture of melee skills, ranged damage proficiencies, tanking style abilities, support buffs, and more. Besides, having players that know how to best leverage those skills in tandem will be essential to taking down Gangs of Sherwood's various bosses and challenging encounters. When it comes to the progression side of things, Gangs of Sherwood doesn't disappoint either. Dovetailing directly into that whole good old-fashioned tale of Robin Hood stealing from the rich to give to the poor, not only can you spend the various amounts of cash that you have accumulated on numerous equipment upgrades to bolster your resilience and damage output, but so too can you donate your loot to the poor townsfolk of Sherwood, unlocking a range of exclusive ability augmentations in the process. Finally, special shards can also be collected during battle, which can be used to amplify and customize the damage of your attacks even further still, providing ample latitude for maxing out your playstyle in the process. Arguably sitting at the heart of Gangs of Sherwood are the 4 very different characters that you can pick from: Robin of Locksley, Marian, Friar Tuck and Little John, with each one essentially fulfilling a functional role within the group that aids one another. Here's everything you need to know about each of the playable characters in Gangs of Sherwood and what they do. Robin of Locksley. The ranged specialist of the group, Robin is capable of stringing together combinations at a distance thanks to his rapid-fire bow. In addition, Robin also has a number of attacks which provide different results in battle, such as launching enemies into the air, exploding groups of foes at once, and so on. In terms of unique abilities, our man Robin can also conjure special star arrows to appear in the middle of battle if certain conditions are met, allowing him to ramp up the damage of his existing projectiles as a result. Elsewhere, Robin's rebel ability allows him to unleash special attacks without penalty for a brief period of time, while his Rebel Instinct special allows him to both reduce incoming damage and increase outgoing damage over a set period of time. Marian. A well-rounded assassin that can deal high amounts of damage from either melee with her devastating chainsword or at range with her trusty throwing knives, Marian is a versatile fighter, to say the least. Marian's special abilities include magnetic daggers, which stick to her foes, which can then be triggered for a massive explosion, damaging any enemies that are nearby, while her rebel abilities all revolve around increasing her damage throughput and allowing Marian to stack even more magnetic daggers onto her hapless opposition. For anybody looking for a decent balance of ranged and melee attack playstyles, Marian absolutely has you sorted. Friar Tuck. A massive battering ram of a man, Friar Tuck is a slow-moving melee specialist that juggles the functions of singularly high damage attacks and damage absorption with aplomb. In regards to the latter, Friar Tuck can use his gargantuan shield to protect both himself and his friends from incoming attacks, while his substantial strength permits this rowdy monk to remove heavy obstacles that in turn provide the group with access to new areas and loot. Friar Tuck's abilities are centered around massive slow strikes, which create AoE-style shockwaves, which in turn affect other enemies, while his special abilities, which allow him to taunt and gain the attention of stronger enemies, will prove invaluable in Gangs of Sherwood's more difficult encounters and boss fights. Little John. Formerly a card-carrying member of the Sheriff of Nottingham's posse, Little John has since seen the error of his ways and is very keen to correct them with his furious brawling attacks. Very handy with his knuckles to say the least, Little John not only uses his fearsome steel fists to blast enemies across the room, but he can also shoot flames from them to boot, while also being strong enough to heave up his enemies and toss them onto their own traps. Little John's special abilities are all centered around the timing of his fist-based attacks, where successful timings result in an overheat ability that not only stacks on top of his usual damage, but which can also be deployed as a devastating ranged attack as well.